Well, today I'm going to do some work on my Giulia Quadrifoglio. I was able to do about 20 days on the track last year, and I basically rode her hard and put her away wet at the end of the season. So I'm going to start the process of getting her cleaned up and ready for my next track day, which is in about 3 weeks. So for today, I'm going to replace the driver's side fender liners. I've already done the passenger side, and it took me about an hour from start to finish. So about 2 hours total to complete this pretty simple do-it-yourself project. I installed some ST springs a couple of years ago which lowered the car by 20 millimeters, so I have to raise it up on a couple of boards to get my jack under it. From there, I only need a few tools: a torque wrench, a 19 millimeter socket, a smaller socket wrench for some of the fasteners, a screwdriver with a Torx head, and some basic wire cutters. Portable light is also a good idea. My fender liners take a beating because, let's face it, everything takes a beating when you're on the track. And in the case of my Giulia, it's also because of the setup I'm running. She came stock with Pirelli 245 3519s on the front and 285 3019s on the rear, but I switched them out with a set of Continental Extreme Contact Sports. I found the Pirellis wore out quickly, and I think the Contis perform just as well. They last longer, and for sure, they're better priced. On track days, however, I gotta have more grip. I've tracked a few different cars: BMW M3s, an E46, a couple of E92s, a McLaren MP412C, a 458 and a Scuderia Ferrari, a couple of Lambos, and of course my Giulia Quad. I've tried Pirellis, Toyos, Nittos, Hancooks. They're all good tires depending on what you're looking for. Some have better grip, some hold up better, and some are priced better than others.
When it comes to grip, Hoosiers are simply the champ, hands down. They're tacky at room temperature, and they're super sticky once you get some heat into them. The downside is I get fewer track days out of them, and they're more expensive than the other tires I've used. But damn, it's hard to go back to a less grippy tire. I'm gonna have to keep dipping into the kids' college fund so I can afford them. They're just gonna have to work their way through school. I think it's a good life lesson for them though.
As I mentioned, I swapped out the stock springs with ST springs, which lowered the car by 20 millimeters. ST says their springs reduce body roll as well as weight transfer under acceleration. And the ride quality, it didn't suffer much. She's just a bit stiffer, which sometimes is slightly uncomfortable on poorly maintained roads, but the handling and the feeling of connectedness with the asphalt more than made up for it. The problem with this setup, however, is that the combo of the car being lower and the rear Hoosiers being 10 millimeters wider, plus the compression of the suspension under track driving conditions, well, it seriously trashes my fender liners, and this is the second time I've had to replace them. I think I've got a good solution that will also be a suspension upgrade. I ordered a GTA spring set and a GTA-M software ECU from Alfissimo, which will raise the car back up 10 millimeters while giving me the same sort of steering and handling that the limited edition GTA-M drivers enjoy. Alfa has taken everything they've learned over the last few years from the Giulia and now the GTA-M and refined the suspension software to get it really dialed in. The updated ECU has removed nearly all of the front and rear teeter, and the rear shocks no longer squat as much. Handling and grip are supposed to be even better, and the suspension is more suited for the intensity of track day conditions. The first step is to replace the fender liners, and the first time I tried it, I attempted to use the old fasteners, but it's just easier and faster to cut them out and replace them. As you can see, it's a dirty job, and I'm always amazed at how much debris the car picks up. That said, it's super easy to change them out. The next step is to drop my ride off at Prova Motorsports with Chris Benny and his crew. They're going to install the new springs and the ECU. I can't wait to get out on the track and test it out. I'll report back as soon as I can.